This is your daily dose of all things royal. Welcome back, my gorgeous, good-looking friends. Just a really quick video. I want to share this article coming out of this tabloid magazine called Heat out in the UK. I am getting the vibe that Meghan has put this out there to not only provoke Catherine, but also to make herself look like she is some type of prize. Wait till you see what's written in this article. Let's begin. The mere fact that this article has a headline that says, "Kate simply can't be around Meghan," screams to me the Sussex PR machine is all over this. I mean, if you take a look at the two photos of the women, you have on one side Catherine looking serious and kind of bitchy, and then Meghan looking just neutral and even with a softer, I want to say, expression. And I think that's all intentional to paint this picture of William and Catherine being the cold in-laws that don't want to reconcile. And you'll see what I mean when I read this to you. It's a fairly short article, but there are a couple points in here that I found particularly interesting that I'll point out in a second. The article begins by saying, "It's official. July is set to mark the return of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex to the UK. Yay! Looks like the UK has something to look forward to this summer." Says here, and while Harry has been back a number of times, most recently in September, where he had a highly publicized reunion with his father, King Charles, the trip to attend the one-year countdown event for the Invictus Games would be Meghan's first to the UK in 4 years. And with the palace's reception to the Duchess likely to be frosty, Heat has been told even family peacemaker Kate Middleton, oh, you know this is written by Meghan, is ruling out any meeting with her sister-in-law. Well, good, she should. Another reason why I believe Meghan is behind this article is because she hates that people call her Meghan Markle. So, of course, she's going to put in not only not calling her Catherine, but also continue to call her Kate Middleton. Kate has always strived to keep an open mind towards Meghan, in spite of their differences, an insider tells Heat. At the end of the day, she's a huge believer in forgiveness. It's not usually in her nature to hold grudges or side against someone, even if she may have differences with them. But, like the rest of the royals, she's upset by some of the shameless stunts Meghan seems to keep pulling. She's been throwing her royal title around like it's a calling card and disrespecting the rules and etiquette that everyone else who is lucky enough to have a royal title is expected to follow. And right there in that little passage, it gives a window into Meghan's psyche, where she truly does believe that she is on a higher level than these people and can do whatever she wants. So she knows that she can use her title however she feels like it, even though the royal family sees that as a big no-no. She doesn't care because she is not playing by their rules anymore. And Meghan does what she does with those titles because she knows it gets under people's skin. Harry's meeting with his father in September reportedly lasted just 55 minutes, but it's rumored that this time the 41-year-old Duke is hoping to be invited to the family's Sandringham estate, where the king will see his grandchildren, Archie 6 and little Betty 4. However, recent moves by Harry and Meghan's may have scuppered those plans. Meghan is going to do everything that she can to avoid those invisible children ever going to spend time with Harry's family. The couple recently announced their first trip to Australia in 7 years, with the pair set to combine business and philanthropic ventures during what's been dubbed as a faux royal tour. As Heat has previously reported, Harry's family were upset about the trip because as part of the visit, Meghan would be making a personal appearance at a wellness festival for which she would receive a reported, now get this folks, what they're saying here, a fee of $1 million. Now, does anybody believe that this woman is getting paid $1 million to show up at this so-called girls' retreat when they can't even sell out the event? Saying Meghan's going to get $1 million for this appearance obviously is her PR trying to inflate her brand. Meghan's not even worth $1. In fact, Meghan should be paying these people to be able to show up to this event. But anyway, I digress. A lot of the royals are convinced Meghan is organizing all these copycat tours on purpose. There's a sense that she actually enjoys provoking the family, and Kate is starting to see it that way too, we're told. With Harry and Meghan making headlines for their trip down under, our source says that Kate's patience is wearing thin. The faux royal tours have done way too much damage, so it's no wonder Kate's patience has finally run out, says our source. The bond between the sisters-in-law has undergone a dramatic transformation over the years. Well, I hardly call it a bond. Although they were once seen as being friends, no they weren't. They were dubbed the Fab Four alongside their husbands. Things between them quickly soured following Meghan and Harry's departure from the UK in 2020. Again, Meghan, get a clue. Catherine will never be your friend. Catherine doesn't want to be your friend. Catherine's never going to like you, Meghan. And you can bet that knowing that Catherine will never be her friend gets under her skin more than anything else. But while the two women remain frosty, Kate has long championed the possibility of a reconciliation between the two princes. She does feel that William and Harry's chances of reconciling would be greater if she and Meghan were able to find some common ground, says our insider. It doesn't help that William is doubling down and refusing to make nice with Harry. Now, the one thing that I pick up on here with these propaganda pieces is that the PR is trying to spin it always of William and Catherine being the difficult ones, of not wanting to sit down or to let bygones be bygones or to forgive. It's never Harry and Meghan should maybe reflect and say that they're sorry. It's always William and Catherine who have to make the effort, as well as the ones to apologize. Apologize for something that they're not guilty of, but always putting William and Catherine in the position of being the assholes. That's what I see going on here with this article. The king has tried everything to get him to soften his stance and give his brother the time of day when he visits with the kids. But William is still insisting he cannot forgive Harry for all the terrible things his brother has said about the family over the last few years. The source adds, if his father wants to break bread with the Sussexes, then William won't stand in his way, but he won't be joining them, barring some type of miracle. And that makes it even harder for Kate to go against him and be around Meghan, too. She'll likely make some polite excuses and let the king get on with it by himself. And that's the end of the article. And the way that I interpret this, it was definitely designed to provoke and get under the skin of William and Catherine. You notice the article positions King Charles as someone who would be open to receiving the Harkles when they arrive in the UK and hanging out with little Betty and Archie. But they're making this article look like William and Catherine are the cold ones, and that Catherine is one who will follow her husband's lead, as if she doesn't have a mind of her own, and even if she wanted to hang around and be besties with Meghan, she couldn't because William wants nothing to do with Harry. See how they set up this article? No, Meghan, Catherine wants nothing to do with you. What's got to drive William and Catherine nuts is Meghan's constant need to attach herself to either Catherine and make a story out of it, or William and make a story out of it, because she herself on her own is not interesting enough. Yes, what you see there is supposed to be little Betty's foot, but doesn't that look kind of weird? I think the world is just exhausted over the amount of games that this couple plays, especially Meghan, and posting whoever these children are, if they're even children. Because when you look at this video in itself, it's weird. It's weird that whoever this little girl is, if it is a little girl, is got some funny feet and wearing a nightgown. Like, why would you put your child in a nightgown for Easter and have her running so weirdly? Like, nobody wants to see that. It's very sad to me that Meghan is exploiting these children because she needs content for Instagram. These children should be with other children, but we see them just very strangely doing things that Meghan's making them do for her Instagram reel. If indeed this is reality, what a sad existence. These two are going to need a lot of therapy. One of the things that I find really hollow about this is that this is Easter. This is supposed to be a religious holiday. What are they teaching their kids about Easter? Did they go to church? I doubt it. Sure, this is fun for the kids, but do the kids understand what the day means? Most likely not. And I don't even think that Meghan understands what the day means because she's about as satanic as they come. With everything that we have seen this woman do, especially the deceit around the pregnancies, does anybody think that the truth about who these children are in the line of succession will ever come out? Some say William will be the one to clean this all up, but I somehow doubt it. I feel like the noise that will come from Harry and Meghan having 2 children in the line of succession that likely don't belong in the line of succession is going to cause a lot of headache for William. I think these kids in the line of succession are going to become the next urban myth within the royal family, just like how people have been questioning, is Charles really the father of Prince Harry? Now, the only way that I see William getting out of having to deal with these two is if Harry and Meghan get convicted for something. And I don't see William saving his brother by calling in any kind of favors. I do believe that William will allow his brother and his wife to go to jail because it will keep the rest of the world safer. As far as those kids, well, they might lose their titles and their place in the line if their parents end up in jail. I think that's the best case scenario here. I don't see anything changing that could have been done over the last 6 years that should have been done, in my opinion. I don't see the royal family intending on doing anything unless some scandal does come out into the open, just like with Andrew, which I do think is coming. This is why we see this desperation for Harry and Meghan to get their security back. Meghan doesn't give a shit to go back to the UK and try to make amends with the royal family. She just wants that immunity. And this is why we're seeing all these headlines of Meghan making a mountain out of a molehill over a tweet that Meghan's mole made. People like Meghan Markle are truly the scumbags of the earth. All they do is just take, and they are just parasites on the world. They offer nothing, and they expect everything. And nothing is ever their fault, and when it doesn't go their way, they cry victim. And this woman wants to be seen as a role model for young girls. I've said this from the beginning, keep Meghan and Harry away from the vulnerable youth, because what these two like to do is prey on the impressionable youth, not only to use them for their brand, but also to exploit them. And I find that very predatory, and I think, parents need to be aware that these two don't have good intentions. As I said, anything connected to Harry and Meghan, you can't trust because none of them have good intentions, especially if you belong to this Epstein class. We all see how dark and demonic these people are. But anyway, those are just my opinions. But what do you guys think? Definitely leave your thoughts below. As always, I will be back with more content. But until then, please be safe, and I'll talk to you later. Bye!
It was such a fraud.